The Simpsons Hit and Run is one of the best games ever made, but also one of the worst. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Who's This Guy? The only show on YouTube brave enough to bring you such hot takes as The Simpsons is a pretty big thing, or at least it was. I'm not really sure how people feel about it these days. Anyway, on today's episode, we're taking a look back at what most consider to be the best Simpsons game. Simpsons Skateboarding. Simpsons Hit and Run. I loved this game when I was a kid. I think a lot of people did. But does it hold up today? Is it actually any good, or have the rose-tinted glasses of my long-lost youth turned this into something greater than it actually is or ever was? Let's find out as we return to The Simpsons Hit and Run. Chapter 1. I'm going to Clown College. So what actually is Hit and Run? It is your classic open world GTA style template with a bunch of Simpsons-ness shoved into it. Drive to a location, talk to a Simpsons character, do a mission for them, rinse and repeat. If this open world structure sounds pretty rote, it totally is. Like if this was a generic unbranded open world game, I think this would get boring really, really fast. But of course, Hit and Run has a couple of aces up its sleeve. First of all, this game is really goddamn funny. I was surprised at how clever the writing is here. It's obvious that the show's creative team was heavily involved in the making of this game. The tone is spot on, and although the story is completely batshit insane, Wasp cameras are spying on everyone and aliens are trying to take over by poisoning Buzz Cola, but maybe that's actually Krusty doing that, or maybe he's part of the alien conspiracy. And at one point, Bart fights Truckosaurus and then he gets abducted by the aliens. And then by the time you get to the end of the game, the entire town has been taken over by zombies and there's a UFO hovering over the school. It's shit. Spoilers, sorry. It's fucking crazy. Despite the insanity, I think all the jokes within land really well. I was laughing out loud playing through this, and even better, it all just feels really genuinely Simpsons. And that brings me to the second big advantage that really helps this game overcome its open world collectathon template. And that is that this might be my favorite example of fan service ever. All the music is here and the original voice cast is all present. There is zero phoning it in vibes here like you get with so many other licensed video games. You can tell the people that made this are massive Simpsons nerds. From all the amazing character costumes complete with unique animations depending on which one you're wearing, to the different vehicles from the Homer to Marge's Canyonero, the blink and you'll miss it posters and billboards all around town. Even the newspapers on the loading screens. This shit rolls deep as well. Like these aren't all really obvious references. This is especially true with the collector cards. You can find Bart's soul, the angel skeleton, even Homer's soul donut from the Treehouse of Horrors episode. And although the collectible gags repeat between levels, which is like best case scenario weird and worst case scenario copy paste lazy, if you're a big Simpsons fan, you'll definitely get a giggle out of venting gas at the power plant, or seeing Jasper frozen at the Quickie Mart, or even just changing the Camp Krusty flag. Speaking of Camp Krusty, the locations in this game are amazing. They did an incredible job of including all the spots you want to see. Like the Simpsons house, complete with backyard, living room, Bart's bedroom, the Quickie Mart, Moe's, Springfield Elementary, Mr. Burns Casino, the Springfield sign, Krusty Lou Studios where you can find the Smartline set, the Burns Mansion with the Stonecutters Club hiding underneath. The list goes on and on and on. It is a bit weird to see the comic book store in the waterfront district and the tobacco field just down the road from the power plant, but concessions obviously had to be made to get all of these iconic locations into the game, and I'd rather have them show up in weird spots than not be in here at all. Basically, if you're a Simpsons fan, this game is an amazing love letter. Unfortunately, I also think Hit and Run is very, very terrible. Chapter 2. The goggles do nothing. So here's the thing. Experiencing the Simpsons Hit and Run, soaking in virtual Springfield, all the references, all the jokes, the surprisingly amazing writing, the deep roster of characters and cars, the way the environments evolve over the course of the game. All of this stuff is, and I really can't stress this enough, absolutely joyous. However, it seems like they put about 98% of their effort into all of the stuff I just mentioned above, and about 1% into how you actually play this game. Because my God, getting through it is awful. Don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily mean the gameplay itself. The car controls are really loose in a fun, slippery kind of way, except for this ATV. What the And character movement is fun enough. Please remember, guys, there is a sprint button. I spent the first half of the game going through moving at this speed, lordy, I guess that serves me right for turning off the tutorials. No, controlling this game is okay. Aside from some wonky bounding boxes that make characters flip the fuck out, or a couple of really painful platforming sections that combine tiny platforms with an awful camera and slippery edges, which mean anytime your character gets near the edge, they just slide off. Aside from these admittedly enormous issues, this game controls just fine. What I'm talking about is the mission design, which in my opinion is a total unmitigated disaster. Chapter 3. You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel. See, it doesn't matter how many different objectives they throw at you. You can tell me I'm picking up tomato packets with Cletus here and picking up escaped monkeys for Dr. Nick there, but it's all the same thing. I mean, the only thing that makes these missions not completely mind-numbing is the fact that you're driving around this amazingly rendered version of Springfield with your favorite characters. I think this stuff would be completely intolerable without the level of charm that's been thrown on top. There's also a really wild difficulty curve on this game. The first half is dead easy with really long timers on all the missions, and the police are a cinch to get away from. I guess I should have mentioned that earlier. A la GTA, once you've caused enough mischief, the police will come after you. And if they bust you, that's 50 coins down the drain. You have to keep that in mind because you use these coins to purchase character outfits and unique vehicles. And some story missions require that you be wearing a particular outfit or driving a particular car. For the first 2/3 of the game, coins are plentiful and the cops are so easy to get away from. I don't think I ever got busted right up until chapter 5 out of 7. Around chapter 6 though, something odd starts to happen. It's like the designers went, oh shit, this has been really easy so far, and then they turned the difficulty slider all the way up to like 14. Suddenly the mission timers are super tight and the cops get absolutely savage. This means you start to fail missions a lot. And these missions do not have checkpoints, even though they have multiple phases, meaning you can fail one right at the end and go all the way back and have to do it all over again. And then let's throw the newly savage police into that mix. Every time you so much as clip a garbage can, your heat meter increases. And you can't drive carefully because the timers have become super tight, which means you inevitably hit lots of stuff. The police come after you, you get busted immediately because they're now savage, and you lose 50 coins, and this happens again and again until you run out of money. If you're a hit and run savant and you cruise through the second half of this game, please let me know your secrets down below, you big fat liar. And maybe you're starting to see the problem here. We now have no money, but we have missions that require us to purchase specific outfits and cars to progress. And anytime we get a little bit of money and go into a mission, we lose it again because we clip some garbage cans and we get busted. It creates this weird kind of grind towards the back end of the game where you spend heaps of time just looking for coins. Whoever designed the level gating in the modern Assassin's Creed games clearly played hit and run and went, they're onto something here. So when you combine all these elements together, you end up retrying missions again and again and again until you completely lose your mind. And all of this comes to a sharp, painful, nasty crescendo with what is undoubtedly the worst final level I've ever played in my entire life. And this is coming from someone that finished Knack. Chapter 4, worst episode ever. Okay, so when you get to the end of The Simpsons Hit and Run, Springfield has been completely taken over by zombies and there's a flying saucer hovering above the school. So we're gonna need to blow that sucker up to save the day. So Mr. Burns is like, hey, take some nuclear waste from my power plant, drive it over to the school, get it up into the spaceship and kill those fuckers. So I try, I don't make it in time, restart the level. We go all the way back to Mr. Burns, we try again, and this time we're successful. Awesome. Oh, there's another mission with Snake and he's asking us to do exactly the same thing again. So we collect more waste from the power plant, off we go. We get it to the school just in time, goes up into the spaceship, mission complete. Then we talk to Grandpa and he tells us to do exactly the same thing again. We race back to the power plant, we pick up the barrel, only this time we've suddenly only got 60 seconds to get it back to the school. We hit a car, the barrel blows up, time to drive all the way back to the plant, the cops get onto us, we get busted, we realize we're not going to have enough time to get back, so we restart the mission, here we go again. This time the cops get onto us and follow us all the way back to the power plant, and the second we pick up the barrel of waste, they run into us, the barrel explodes, retry mission again. Barrel explodes, busted, barrel explodes, barrel explodes, busted, and barrel explodes. Barrel explode! Barrel explodes, yeah. The barrel exploded, man. Barrel explodes.
Oh my god!
Finally, at long last, I gathered all of my skills, every shred of hand-eye coordination earned from years of playing cricket. It's a really boring Australian sport, don't worry about it. I made my way across town, dodged the cops, and got to the school with only moments to spare, and I did it. I sacrificed Grandpa to the mothership, our evil alien overlords were destroyed, and Springfield was safe once again. Oh, by the way, I remember every single cutscene in this game really clearly from when I was a kid, except for this final one. So I am convinced that I was not able to finish this last mission when I was a kid, that I never actually completed Hit and Run. If you found this level super duper easy, can you tell me what the hell is wrong with me below? I promise you, I'm not exaggerating how painful the last couple of hours of this game were. Right up until the final chapter, I was really excited to go back into all the levels and 100% them. But after the credits rolled here, I put the controller down, switched off my Xbox, walked out of my office, down the hallway, and into my oven at 180 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, for 20 minutes. I was cooked. I don't think I'll be returning to The Simpsons Hit and Run anytime soon. But do you know what the strangest thing of all is? Chapter 5. Everything's coming up Millhouse. The bizarre thing is that unlike when I finished Knack, when I finally got to the end of that arduous, tedious train wreck of a final boss fight, and I wanted to throw Knack into the deepest corners of space and just pretend I'd never played that game. At the end of what I think is arguably an even poorer final level, I just still adore The Simpsons Hit and Run. It has so many problems. My God, does this game have problems. The gameplay is beyond repetitive. The difficulty curve is more like running face first into a brick wall. And the final mission truly belongs in the Hall of Fame for awful video game levels. But everything else about it is amazing. I've never played a game before where one half feels so tossed together, but the other half feels like it was crafted with so much passion and love and care for the source material. So does Hit and Run hold up? Well, yeah, it totally does, and you should absolutely play it. But also it totally doesn't, and you should stay as far away from it as humanly possible. Make sense? I think the best way to sum this up is to say that if you're a Simpsons fan, you should play this and prepare for some frustrations along the way and some repetitive, tedious gameplay, while you bask in this lovingly crafted virtual Springfield. And if you're not a Simpsons fan, well, there really isn't much here for you. For me though, I just love this thing, warts and all. Thank you, Radical Entertainment, for actually giving a shit when you made this. In an alternate reality, this could so easily have been just another cash grab tie-in. Instead, in our reality, we got this, Simpsons Hit and Run, and it's pretty freaking special. Thanks for watching my video, everyone. I know it's been a bit. Thank you for hanging in there. Let me know your thoughts below on Simpsons Hit and Run, and also please let me know if there's any other games you'd like me to have a look at for you. If you've enjoyed this video, I think you'll probably enjoy this one here as well, so if you've got a moment, check it out. My name's Sam, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.